Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the Brave Builders chat tonight. Hello. I love seeing your beautiful faces. If you are wearing clothing, put your camera on just because it helps for me to see faces instead of talking to a black screen with names. So it's so good to see you guys. I'm super excited. For those of you watching the recording, my name is Elisa Gallios. I am a coach on this team. I've been doing this for 3 years, which is so insane. And I'm going to be talking to you guys tonight about something that I'm not going to claim to be the all-time expert on by any means, but I've actually spoken every time I speak with corporate. They actually comment on our retention rates as a team, and that we have actually a very high percentage of people who basically continue to reorder, continue to sign up for their annual BOD subscriptions, continue to sign up for their shakes monthly or different products and things like that. And I wanted to talk to you guys specifically about what I think that a lot of us do really well as coaches on this team to help our challengers and our coaches get the best results, be excited to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and basically continue on this path to becoming a better version of themselves, right? On this team, we talk a lot about Success Club. And oh, you guys, if I'm extra bouncy, it's because I'm sitting on a bouncy ball. This is the coolest room in the house right now, and I forgot to turn on the AC downstairs earlier, so it's really hot. So that's why I'm up here, so I'm kind of bouncy. But I was gonna tell you guys, that half the battle, right, is obviously helping people be brave enough and believe enough in themselves that they're willing to give one of our challenge groups or fit tribes a try, right? That is at least half the battle, because so often people are scared of failure. They're scared of, spending money and not using it. There's all these things in the way. But the other half of the battle, you guys, is really keeping people engaged and helping them keep up the healthy habits that they form in our groups. So if you have been a coach for even, if you've helped even one person start their journey, or if you yourself have even started your journey, you know that nobody's fitness life, or even once you start a great program like Beachbody, you're not going to be like a straight shot going up, right? There's going to be weeks where maybe you're not as motivated, or weeks where you miss workouts, or weeks where you don't meal plan. All of that is entirely normal, right? The other thing that's very normal that I wanted to tell you guys about is false starts. If you've ever had somebody sign up for a challenge group and you send them the information and they either ghost you or they say they're in and then they don't ever really start it, right? That is also totally normal. That happens. That's again that part of okay, we're getting these people set up, we're helping them get all the tools, but it's gonna be up to them on whether or not they put those tools into action. What I'm gonna be going over tonight though is how to make sure as best you can, right? Because we can only do as much as we can do as coaches. Just like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink, right? Our job is to lead the horse to water, and then maybe every once in a while we cup a little water, we bring it up and see if it, I don't know. We're gonna try extra hard to help people to get the most that they can out of these groups. So that's what I'm gonna talk about. You guys, you need acquisition and retention to create a sustainable business model. This is really, really important. So if you're taking notes, write down both of those words. Acquisition is obviously, or maybe not obviously, but is new people, right? Every single month, every single week, you should be reaching out to people and asking them if they want to join our Fit Tribe. You should be asking them about their goals and helping to inspire them and motivate them to actually work toward those goals, right? So many people in life have goals and have no clue how to get to the end goal. So our job is to help them get started. And that means they're on the business side of things. If we're going to talk business talk, right? We're acquiring them as our client or as a coach under us, right? And when you acquire somebody, that's incredible, but you have to make sure that you're covering the other side of it, which is that retention portion of it. So as we focus on this retention part, I wanted you guys to understand not only the sustainable income part, because I get that question a lot, right? People wonder, how did you create a business that's a 6-figure earning business in 3 years? How did you get to a place where you're able to earn more than enough to cover, you know, my husband and I, this is what we do, insert Beachbody disclaimer. Obviously, we had to work our butts off to get here, you guys, like crazy hours, crazy work up front. And at the beginning, you get paid a lot less, right? This is a 3-month business, meaning all the work that you put in right now, the harder you work right now means that you're going to get paid 3 months from now on that. You're going to see the return 3 months from now. That's really how it works, because people have to see you being consistent for a long period of time. You can't show up on social media for 1 week and invite people for 1 week and get no's for 1 week and then follow up with them a few days later and then throw your hands in the air and say, well, I didn't make any money. I'm not good at this. That's not how it works. Once you start going 3 months of being super consistent with all of those things and the 4 vitals of coaching, which are in all of our basic trainings, if you haven't gone through a training or you don't know what the 4 vitals are, please message your coach and we will make sure that you get through the training. But it's really important that you guys understand that the other side of this, you guys, is not the income side. It's the side that I'm like even more passionate about, which is the fulfillment side of things, right? If you want to feel fulfilled as a coach, it actually doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your income. My fulfillment level as a coach hasn't changed from when I was making $100 a month to making $10,000 a month. It's literally no different. The only difference is that now I realize too, like what I've done over the course of this time to feel fulfilled. And one of those things that brings me so much fulfillment is seeing people who get results and keep those results, right? Or they get results and then they keep getting better and better and better results. And I'm not just talking about scale victories. I'm not just talking about lost weight, which that is an awesome one, you guys, all the time. Like that one blows my mind, but also the non-scale victories, people telling me that they're finally going on date nights with their husband. They're finally getting their morning workout or their morning routine down for like their first time in their lives, which for me, that was like Beachbody brought that into my life, right? So whatever it is, those non-scale victories or scale victories, those are not gonna happen if you're just acquiring customers or coaches, right? And they sign up and go through 3 weeks of your group. More than likely, you might get an email at the end of 3 weeks. But most people, including myself, you don't notice a huge change until you've been doing the groups for a couple months. Normally 2, sometimes 3, okay? So how do you help somebody once they get started? How do you help them continue on? There's a couple different things. So one, I think it's really important to make sure that you are setting expectations up front. Whenever I'm talking to a new potential client, I'm always telling them my story, right? And I'm telling them that, and I reflect this in my posts online as well, but I talk about how my first group, the main thing I noticed was a shift in my energy. I always use the example of my dad. The main thing my dad noticed in his first month of using Shakeology was a shift in his sleeping patterns. It wasn't really anything else. He just noticed he was sleeping better finally, right? So whatever those things are, point out what people typically notice in their first month. If you're still in your first month and you have no clue, you can even run a poll in the team page and we can see what everybody even says. That might be kind of fun, right? But whatever it is, point that out and say in your first month, you're probably going to notice that you have increased motivation to do other things in your life. You might notice that you have more energy, that you're sleeping better. You might drop a couple to 5 pounds, depending on, because if you're dropping a lot more weight, you can drop it a little bit quicker. If they're just trying to lose a little bit, it's going to take a little longer to come off, right? So make sure you're setting those expectations up front and then telling them by month 2 or month 3, this is what happened to me. And that's what I do, is I walk them through my story. The first month, I noticed increased energy. When I was carrying laundry up and down the stairs, I wasn't dying out of breath. I could actually do it and feel good. And then my second month, I started noticing that my headaches were going down, my back pain was going down, my knee pain was going down, and I noticed my clothes were fitting a little different. And by my third month, that was when I noticed I actually dropped 2 dress sizes, and I was feeling leagues better as far as motivation goes. And then I was able to wean myself off of my autoimmune disease steroids that I was on for autoimmune disease. Anyway, So point being, setting those expectations, right? Share your personal story or a story that you know from other people in our team or in the network, right? The second thing that I do that I think is very important, and I know a lot of other coaches on the team do this too, is making sure that you check in with your challengers aside from the challenge group. So if you're running your own challenge group, or if you're a part of Kinsley or I's, or if you've partnered with another coach on the team, however you're running your challenge groups, I think it's really important to do two things. One, you need to be the best challenger in your challenge group. And that is my challenge to you, to be the very best challenger in your challenge group. I want you to out-motivate, out-participate basically everyone in there, okay? There might be an outlier that has like way too much time on their hands and they're doing like way too many things, that's fine. But other than that, like I want you to be the best that you can be, because when people see you participating, when you're commenting on their posts, when you're liking every post, when you're making sure to show them that you care and that you notice whether or not they're showing up, it's gonna make a huge difference in whether or not they continue with you. Absolutely, hands down. I've been a part of kind of a bird on the wall. Wait, that's not the right, fly on the wall? Yeah, I've been a fly on the wall in groups where the coaches aren't commenting on their challengers' posts. And that breaks my heart, you guys, because even if you're seeing it, which I know we're all used to, we've been conditioned by social media, I think, to literally just scroll and like not like people's stuff. Like I've even caught myself where I like see a post and I'm like, oh, that's such a cute post. And I like read it and I don't like it. And then I like scroll back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even like that post. I just like read it and thought it was so good, but I didn't comment on it. We're so used to just being scrollers and observers, but in our groups in particular, it's also actually really good for your business if you do this on social media too, just a tip, but participate, okay? So comment, be a high participant and your best challenger, right? Okay. Then the second thing is after your people sign up. So once somebody signs up, right? So you've already acquired them. This is moving them into the retention phase. Whether your challenge group is starting soon or it's not starting for a while, you want to make sure you're sending them a confirmation email. This is really important, right? They need to know when your next group is starting, so what they've signed up for, because I personally, I don't tell people what day the group starts in 99.9% of cases until after they've signed up. And that's when I send them, this is when the group opens for prep. This is when the group starts. Here's what you need to know. Be on the lookout for your package in 5 to 7 business days. And we go through the confirmation, right? My confirmation email is in the Brave Builders. I think it's in the files tab. And if not, you can always use the search feature there. But I always send that email. Just recently, as in like a week ago, I added in a PDF that actually attaches to that email, and I posted that in the Brave Builders page as well so that you guys can edit it if you need to. It's in Canva. If you can make a copy first, that's really helpful because otherwise it edits it for everybody. But when you go to edit that, you can just change it to your name. You can change it to your words. But what that PDF does that I think is something that I've actually personally been missing out on is it educates people as to the importance of Shakeology and the importance of our supplemental products, I guess is the way, I don't know why I'm saying that weird, performance line. That's the word I'm looking for. So it shows them what Recover is. It shows them what Energize is. It's going to walk them through why Shakeology matters. And again, setting them up for expectations. What should you notice when you drink Shakeology? If you don't tell people that you're going to notice higher energy, you're going to notice you're going to the bathroom more regularly. You might notice that you're dealing with stress and anxiety better because of the adaptogens, that your digestion's better because of the probiotics. If you don't tell people these things, they might not notice. And that's normal, right? We're all living crazy, busy lives. But if you tell them, they're going to be thinking about that when they're randomly sitting on the toilet one day and thinking like, hey, this has been going really well for me this last week. What's different? Oh, the last 3 weeks I've been drinking Shakeology, right? So make sure you guys give people like those expectations up front. You don't have to do the same thing I did. You don't have to do a PDF. The other thing that we do in our group though, like Kinsley will do a nutrition video on day 2. She normally goes in and introduces herself as a coach, because I do the welcome video and introduce myself as a coach. And then she'll talk a little bit about nutrition, meal planning, and talk about Shakeology. And again, anywhere that you can fit this in and educate your clients, right, on why this is so important is so important, right? Because without that, people are just going to think this is like a Wendy's Frosty, or they're going to think it's just like Vega One at Costco, or something they can get on Amazon, you guys. And this does not compare. There's nothing comparable out there to what we offer, but people aren't going to know that because it tastes just like a Wendy's Frosty, right? So you have to make sure that you're educating them on why they're spending $100 a month on a chocolate shake, right? Otherwise, they're going to be coming to you next month and saying it's too expensive and they want to bow out. Okay. So that's really important when they sign up, getting them plugged into the group, setting up their expectations. The other thing that I try to do, which I am guilty of missing this step every once in a while, but normally on day 2 of the group, sometimes even the first day, day 1 or 2, I will look through the invites that I've sent in my challenge tracker app, and it'll tell you who hasn't accepted the invite. I'll click resend on everyone that's my person. I'll resend the invites, and then I'll shoot them an email. Or if you're on Facebook Messenger or Instagram, obviously, if that's better for you, you can do that. But I try to follow up with them outside of the My Challenge Tracker app, because if they don't have the app open, right, it's not necessarily going to show them. But you want to make sure that everyone is accepting the invite, that they're actually in the group, participating, and right in there with you, right? And I'm walking you guys through like my exact process. I hope this isn't like too technical for you guys. And I know some of you probably have your own processes already, but I know some of us don't have any. So I want to make sure that I walk you guys through, like, this is what I do, and this is how we have such a high retention rate from what I can tell. So the third thing I do is about halfway through the group, I'm normally going to check in with them, but it kind of depends on the length of the group. So if it's a 21-day group, it's typically somewhere around like day 15, but sometimes as late as like day 18, I will send an email just saying, like, how is it going? Do you have any questions? Oh, I skipped day 5. Dang it, go back one. I actually sent an email at day 5. So go back to day 5. Day 5, I send an email out because I feel like that's the point where people have either A, decided I haven't started yet, so I'm calling it quits, and I'm like, I'm not doing this, or whatever, I failed, right? They decided they failed already. Or they're starting to get that groove, but they're still not quite in the habit spot, and they could use extra motivation. So the day 5 email that I send out, and the reason I use email is because I normally have anywhere from 60 to 100 active challengers in a group every single month. And so when I'm sending those emails, it's a lot easier for me to do a mail merge in Gmail, just so you have that information tucked away for later or for now. Some of you guys have large downlines already. So making sure though that you have a way that works for you so it's not crazy overwhelming. And even if you have a small team now, if it's easier for you to type out one email and send it to your 5 challengers, and that keeps you organized, because then you can have streak and you can have your Gmail set up, you can see what you've sent and how they've replied, right? Then that's totally fine. So whatever it is, I just like to do that 5-day check-in, and I basically ask them how they think it's going. So then they will tell me, I am rocking it, I'm so proud of myself, or you know what, I've fallen off the wagon, I haven't really gotten started, what do you think I should do? But it opens up those lines of communication so you can really talk them through what is the best next step. Should you just jump in now? The answer is always yes. Just start now. It's fine. Start today. Okay. Then I was talking about, so then about like near the end, when you hit around day 17 of a 21-day group or something like that, you want to make sure that you check in. You ask again how it's going. I always ask specifically about Shakeology before the next group starts. So it's either in this email or when I follow up with them right before the next group. But I will ask them, how are your shakes going? Do you need help finding a new recipe or a new flavor? Because again, that will trigger in their minds. Some people don't know that we have multiple flavors. Some people don't know that they can mix different things with their shakes. They think they have to take them straight with water, right? So whatever it is, just make sure that you are checking in and giving that touch point. And really, you don't have to be afraid of saying the wrong thing. I found there's so many times where people are afraid, like, well, what do I say? What do I say? And I'm like, well, what would you say to a friend if you knew a friend was starting a 21-day challenge and you were going to message them on day 17? What would you say? You would just be like, hey, friend, like, how's it going? How are you feeling? Like 17 days in? Like, what do you think? And that's the same vibe, right? And I don't even have a script necessarily for this one. I kind of changed it up, but it's a similar question, right? You're just asking how they're doing. You want to know where they're at. And I tried to word it more conversationally. A lot of the times I get ghosted, right? People don't respond, or they're already commenting it up in the group and they know I'm seeing their stuff in there. So it just kind of goes where it goes, right? But whatever it is, at least they know that you care. At least they know that you're reaching out outside of that group and that you care about them as an individual. So I think that that's really important. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is when you are following up with somebody at the end of a group and you're getting ready to start the next group. So there's a couple different things here. But one is when you're asking them like, hey, I am getting ready to open up, I normally word it like, I'm getting ready to open up enrollment for our next group. I just wanted to see if you wanted to join us for another round, right? My questions tend to center around how can I help you? How can I serve you? And what are your goals? And those I don't necessarily say directly, but this is exactly the kind of heart that I'm trying to come at the conversation with. So how can I help you? How can I serve you? What are your goals? Because if at the end of 21 days, they're feeling really discouraged, they're going to tell you, well, I expected to lose more weight. I really need to lose more weight. And in that case, you know that you need to talk about meal planning, right? Because the kitchen is going to basically be reflective of 80% of their weight loss goals, especially. So make sure that you're talking to people at the end, and that again, your mindset is what are your goals? I can't tell you how many times I've heard coaches say, well, I know I need an active coach here, or I need more people in my challenge group. So I asked my person if they were going to do the next group, and they asked me if they needed to order shakes, and I said, yes, well, of course you need to order shakes. And their response was kind of that, I mean, maybe not rude like that, but they were just like, yes, you need to order shakes. You have to explain to them why, right? And hopefully you have the understanding of why. But for me, the main reason I want people to continue drinking their shakes, or if the shakes aren't right for them because they have like an allergy or something like that, the performance line is the same reason why, which I've used this analogy before. But if my friend came to me and said, I want to run a marathon and I'm going to do it in flip-flops, I would be like, friend, no, we're getting you a pair of shoes. Like, it doesn't matter how long it takes us to save up, but we're saving up and you're getting running shoes and you're going to run a marathon in running shoes, right? Same idea for this. When somebody wants to join our challenge group and they want to do it without Shakeology or without the performance line, I can tell you guys straight up that there's no way I would have stuck to our meal plan without Shakeology. Absolutely no way in heck. Because it fills nutritional gaps we don't even realize that we have, which is why I was craving Starbucks like 2 times a day and then eating brownies almost every night and then having wine on top of that, right? So make sure that you are setting your people up for success. Make sure, and it's going to be different for everyone, right? Maybe somebody doesn't have an issue with like cravings, or they think their nutritional gaps are full. I don't know. I was on so many supplements, you guys, and I was eating so much stuff from Whole Foods and I was still craving like all the junk. And this has helped me so much. But say that they don't want that, right? They're still being able to have energize, you guys, I swear is what gets me out of bed some days. Just knowing that I have that pick me up, right? So set people up for success. Give them all the same tools that you have. That being said, you being excited for someone, you guys, I think is half of why somebody is going to continue as well, right? If you believe in them and you believe that they can make the shift that they want to make in the next group, if you believe that they can reach their goals with your help, if you're excited for their next steps and you're excited for your next steps in your journey, it's going to be really hard for them not to be excited too, right? Excitement is contagious. So if somebody reaches out to you and they say, well, I'm not sure about the next group because I just don't know, and I need to lose this weight for the wedding, but it's not coming up off fast enough, or I want to, try something else like cycling because this just isn't as exciting for me. You guys, what are you reflecting back to them, right? And that's not to say people won't leave and go do other things. That's totally fine and totally normal. And they should do whatever is serving them best in this season of life. But if you can make sure that you are excited about your journey, if you are pumped about your journey, it's going to be really hard for your team to not be pumped about their own journeys, right? And it's so funny, you guys, because for the first year of my business, I did one program. This was back when there was no Beachbody on demand, so you had to buy DVDs. So I had to spend over $200 to get 21-day fix. That's all I had. And I refused to spend a penny more on more DVDs because, well, I was a single mom at the time and I didn't have the cash. And I was like, I told myself I didn't have cash, whatever. I was like, I'm not buying any more programs. So I did 21-day fix for almost an entire year. And that is all I sold to anyone. That's all I shared because that's all I had experienced. All I had done is 21-day fix. So I told everyone about 21-day fix. I got everyone started with 21-day fix DVDs. And we went on that train for as long as we could. But you guys, I wish I had hopped off so much sooner. I wish I had jumped into the new program launches because I know it would have given me such a boost in my business earlier on because I would have been so much more excited for my own journey. And it blows my mind how every other program launch or so, I would say, and I will admit this straight up, after 3 years of coaching, every other new program launch, I'm kind of like, like this one looks kind of cool, but it's probably not for me. Like, I don't know if I'm going to buy it. And then you guys, in the end, you know what gets me in is when I see other coaches in the network being stoked about it, or I see the test group and what they're saying about it. And then I'm like, you know what? I guess I can try it. 30-day money back guarantee goes all the way through, guys. Even when you're, an elite coach, it doesn't matter. We can all return the products, right? So I'm always like, well, why wouldn't I try it for 30 days and see? I can do the prep workout. I can get the journal or the wall calendar and just see. And you guys, that stuff, as silly as it sounds, that inspires me to move forward in my journey. And it makes me way more pumped than I ever even imagined. Even this morning, Jay and I rolled over in bed this morning and literally just fist bumped in bed. We were like, day one, because we're both doing Morning Meltdown 100. And it like cracked me up because I'm like, how in the world am I excited to work out, you guys? That is not me. That has never, ever been me, unless it was like going to an actual soccer game where I was like, playing or something, but that's not even working out because it was a game. Like, so much different in my mind, right? But like, I'm never somebody that's normally excited to work out. But when you start a new program and you have that hype and you have a fresh new journal and you have a fresh calendar, like, it sounds so silly, but you guys, those like props, they're not there just to create like volume on our team. They're not there to just create income. They're not there to just look pretty or whatever, right? They're there because they will actually inspire you to stick to your journey, to stick to the plan, right? The B100 book or journal, even specifically, it's so nice, but it also goes over specific, like, why are you doing this? Why are you showing up every day for 100 days? Why, like, who are the people that have your back? It asks you like about your like ideal morning routine. If you could create it, if you had time in the morning, what would your morning routine look like? All these things. And it walks you through this stuff where even if you've done it before, in every season, you guys, I find like my morning routines are different, especially if you're a mom. Like, I've gone through so many transitions in 3 years now of Beachbody, you guys. This is actually my 3rd pregnancy technically since I've started Beachbody, which is crazy. But I've gone through like a kid starting kindergarten. I've gone through a move. I've gone through getting married. I've gone through having more babies, all these things, right? And so all my answers to these questions change all the time. Why am I showing up? Why am I recommitting? Why am I doing a new program? Why am I not sticking with what I did before? What do I want to get out of this program that's different than last time, right? So make sure you're excited. It should be you looking at the new programs and considering them. Don't be closed-minded like me if you can help it. Start looking at the new programs and see what you might get out of it by even just trying them out for 30 days, right? Look at the new products, the new product launches. You guys, for the longest time, I've been eyeing the collagen on the outskirt posting thing at Target. Like they have it on one of the outer edges of the aisles. And I kept walking by it and I'm like reading all these articles about how it helps stretch marks and stuff. And I'm like, I should get some of that. And then you guys, we launched collagen at Summit. And I was like, heck yes, I am jumping on this train. So like whatever it is, find a reason to be excited and then be able to, that's how you're able to share it with your challengers, right? If you've never tried Shakeology or you've never tried like this new program, it's going to be really, really hard for you to sell Morning Meltdown 100 if you haven't tried it or you didn't buy into it yourself, right? Because, and I don't mean buy in like money, I mean like buy in with your heart and with your mind of like, I am going to do this challenge and it's freaking scary and it is challenging. You guys, by the way, 100 workouts is basically going to get me to my due date if I skip like one workout a week, which is my plan because mama needs a day off every once in a while. But like, how crazy is that? Like that's actually really scary for me, but also perfect because I want to work out every day of this pregnancy, just like I did with Emery, which made it go perfectly. So I'm like, I want to do that every single day of this. And this is actually giving me more motivation to get it done because I have a journal that I've promised myself I'm going to fill out every single day for the next 100 workouts. And I have a chart that I'm going to check off every single day for the next 100 workouts. So figure out how to get yourself excited. So other than launches of products and programs, the other thing that really will help with your excitement, you guys, is live events. And I know how hard it can be to show up to live events. I know how hard it can be to show up to live calls. So kudos to all you for being on tonight. It can be really scary to show up for a live call. The live events, you guys, and the live calls. But live events are so important because you are going to start meeting other coaches. Hopefully on this team, technically you guys, we have enough, like I don't really know of anybody who's in some far off place that's not near somebody else. Even our coaches in the UK, there's like chunks of you guys out there. So like you can band together and meet other coaches on the Made for Brave team. But aside from that, there's actually so many coaches all over the country, right? All over the world that you can partner with. And we're all a part of Team Beachbody, right? Even if you go to a Super Saturday completely alone, that's absolutely incredible, or a Super Weekend. Sorry, they're normally Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But it's so incredible to meet other coaches because you're going to meet other like-minded individuals, other people who are doing PD and committing to crazy programs and pushing themselves way outside of their comfort zone. And that's so important because that's going to just make you more excited for what's to come, right? And more excited about the community. The last bit, I wanted to give a tip on that for the live events. I just remember, so I remember hearing a call from Lindsay Matway, who's one of the top coaches in the network. And she is actually like my great, great, great grandma coach or something like that. She's like up there, but she's one of our like upline coaches. And I remember her saying that she saw another team at one point at Summit that seemed to have like so much camaraderie and so much like friendship. And she was like, I want to be a part of a team like that. And at first she started feeling like sad about it. She was like, oh, sad. Like I didn't join a team like that. And then she was like, wait a minute, I can create my own team. And then there's the example of like Keisha Fitzgerald, who is my grandma coach. So my coach is Jackie. Jackie's coach is Keisha. Not that it matters, but she's like one of our mentors in the business, right? And she basically joined a team that she didn't necessarily vibe as much with just because there are a bunch of moms on that team and she is not a mom. And at the time she wasn't even engaged yet or anything like that. So she was like, this isn't really my tribe. I'm going to make my own tribe. That is my deal, right? When I heard that, you guys, that was my determination to like, what do I want our fit family to look like, right? And just like each one of you, I started out with nobody on my team. It was just me. And I decided I wanted our team to, my biggest issue in life, challenge, struggle, hurdle is being brave when I'm scared, right? And this happens to be, you know, the name of my book, the name of this team, Made for Brave, simply because I believe truly to my core that we were made to live courageous lives, that we were made to be brave, but it is so much easier for us to shy away. And I've had to push myself, you guys, on every single level in my life to be braver. And one of those things was honestly believing that someday I could be on a call like this and actually talking to people that are all on my team. This actually legit still, every single time we talk, every single time I log into our team page and I see that we're growing, it blows my mind. I don't understand still. I'm like, how did this happen? But I know that part of it is that belief, and part of it is that excitement that I joined, and I knew if they could create the kind of environment they wanted to create, what's stopping me from creating something maybe similar, but a little bit different, right? So whatever it is you're looking for, if this team doesn't excite you and you're like, dude, I would do this so different, and like these calls are weird and she's sweaty and bouncy and I'm not, or something, whatever it is, think about what you would want. How would you run your team? What would be different? What would you guys focus on? And then build that. Build the team that you would be pumped to work with, that you would be excited to show up with every day, and create that community yourself, right? And that might sound like kind of weird, but you guys, if I could do this, you guys can do this. Like I will never stop stressing how average of a human being I am, and that if I could do this, any of you guys can do this, because I'm so normal. P.S. I'm also like sweating out the like crazy right now. So that's how normal I am. I'm just always sweaty. It's real fun. So the next bit, I feel like I went on a little bit of a tangent, but hopefully this is helpful. The next bit that I wanted to talk about, is your goal as a coach. So these are 3 other words I want you guys to remember, is motivate, inspire, and educate. Those are your 3 jobs as a coach. You should be motivating people, inspiring people, and educating people. So whatever you're posting in your groups, whatever you're posting on social media, which you can add entertain for social media. You can also just be entertaining on social media. That's fine. Motivate, inspire, educate, and entertain. But you need to make sure that you're trying to be helpful, right? And that doesn't mean you don't share the down days. That doesn't mean you don't share the hard stuff. If you guys follow me on social media, you know that I share some really hard stuff and like sad stuff sometimes and whatever, but I'm being real, and I always try my very best. Hopefully I succeed, but I always try my very best to educate people on what maybe brought me out of the sad stuff, or the small silver lining that I see in something that's hard, right? So whatever it is, make sure that you're motivating, inspiring, and educating, especially in your groups. So when you come across something, even just this morning, I had 2 people this last weekend ask for the container conversions who aren't buying the little containers, but they wanted to know the sizes. So I went and posted it in the group. I sent it to them in an email, and then I posted it in the group, and I said, hey guys, here's the container conversions, right? Because anytime that you can provide something of value to your challengers, that's again going to show people that they've joined the right team, that they want to stick with you because they know that you're willing to share with them, right? The vulnerable things, the hard things, but also the inspiring things and the motivating things and the things that are going to help them in their journey, right? So aside from all of this, even if you do everything right as a coach, I want you guys to know, and I don't want you to think because I was like, oh, we have great retention rates, that means I never get coach cancellations. You guys, with a team this big and me getting CC'd on basically everything one level down from me, I get a coach cancellation pretty much every single day. So you better believe that by now it is like, it doesn't even like, it doesn't even faze me. But I always follow up. Every time I get a coach cancellation, I follow up and I ask them, hey lady, I just saw your coach cancellation come through. I just wanted to make sure that's what you meant to do. Were you just trying to skip a month of shakes, or like, was this intentional? And either way, it's totally great. Just let me know, was there anything I could have done better? I always make it about me because I want to know if they showed up and they got less than they expected or something like that. I want to know, right? And more often than not, when people respond, which they don't always do, but more often than not, it's something that doesn't even necessarily have to do with me. But getting to hear suggestions when it is somebody who says, you know what, I expected this, this, and this, and I didn't see it, that is actually a really great time for me to look in the mirror and say, well, did I deliver that? And maybe I did and they missed it, or maybe I didn't, right? But making sure that we're always reevaluating, that we're always looking at that. And so often, you guys, when I send that email, people respond and they say, oh my gosh, you're totally right. I meant to skip a month of shakes. I didn't realize that I was canceling the whole thing. And then at that point, you can have that conversation. Well, are you planning on ordering your shakes next month? Yes. Well, then it doesn't make sense for you to cancel because you'll have to pay $39 to save $30 next time. And you just paid like to join already. So like, let's, fix this. And you can actually undo PS. So, you can undo a coach cancellation if you catch it within, I think it's 5 business days. They just email in response to their confirmation. They just say, hey, I changed my mind. I'm super sorry. Can you undo my cancellation? And Beachbody will undo it for them. It's really important though, you guys, most of all, that you guys understand, especially if you have a big goal in this business, but even if you're just looking to be fulfilled in this business, if you're like, I just want this to be a fun side hobby, but keyword fun, right? Like it's not gonna be fun if it's not fulfilling. It's not gonna be fun if you feel like you're not really helping anybody. It's actually gonna suck if you feel like you're not helping anybody. So make sure that you're delivering the best experience that you can, but then give yourself ample grace when you fail, because we all do and we all will every once in a while, right? But make sure that you're doing the absolute best that you can. And my last thought is just be the coach that you would want to have, right? Be your best coach. So whoever or whatever that looks like to you, if there are things that you wish your coach was doing for you, or there's things you wish that your coach did differently or whatever, then you need to deliver that to your clients and to your customers, right? Because everybody's going to have a little bit of different opinion about what makes the best coach. But if you're always showing up as the best version of your best coach, then you're never going to question yourself. You're going to know that you're doing all that you can do, right? That's all I had. That's all the notes I had. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm glancing over the comments. Oh, I was gonna tell you guys too, really quick. So when I was talking about live events, the next summit is on sale for $150 right now. So you missed one little tier of early bird, but the next level of early bird is up. I highly recommend. I know how scary it is to commit a year in advance. I missed my very first summit, you guys. It was heartbreaking. I thought I would be totally fine. And then afterwards I was like, well, that was a bad decision. And I missed it. And I was so sad. But then the very next week I signed up for the next year's summit. And I had no clue that I was even going to be a coach the next year. I was like, I don't really know. I don't know about this coaching thing, but I got it. Okay. Oh, did the 150 end last night? Oh, I might've lied. Okay. Well, you know what? It's going to be cheaper now than it's going to be next week. So they keep tearing it up, right? So just make sure you get in as soon as you can. It's literally talk about a live event that you have to be at. Summit is definitely it. And every year our team keeps growing on who's there and it just gets more and more fun. So you should be there next year. I am going to take a boom really quick, you guys. I'm going to tag you if you're on so that you guys can post it. And then we're going to go. If you guys have any questions too, drop them in the chat. Okay. Okay, you guys, I'm going to be bouncy. You guys do, oh wait, no, I'm not. It's going to make everybody sick. Okay, you guys do what you want. I'm going to go like this. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yay! Okay, awesome. You guys are amazing. Let me know again if you have any questions and then we can go from there, but I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, love you guys. Bye.